Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the April 10th, 2025 regular meeting of the Moraine City Council to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Doherty,
Here.
Ms. Marcus, Mr. Burchett, Mrs. Witt,
Here.
Mayor Murphy.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Ms. Marcus from this meeting,
And Mr. Burchett.
And Dawn.
And Dawn.
and Don Burchett.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes. Now would everyone please remove your caps and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Copies of the March 27, 2025 regular council meeting minutes. Does anybody have any questions, any changes or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Now we will go into special presentations. I have 2 oath of offices for the fire department.
You got there, Mayor? Get shocked.
That I will support the Constitution, obey the laws of the United States and the state of Ohio, that I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of the charter and ordinances of the city of Moraine, and will faithfully discharge the duties of firefighter EMT.
A few things about Austin. He grew up in Troy, moved here about 2 years ago, graduated in 2018, got his fire and EMS from Clark State. He loves being outdoors and going on hikes with his wife and 2 dogs. He wanted to get into this profession because of the opportunity to serve the community and help people when they need it most. We kind of I have a joke around the firehouse because for some reason I keep thinking he has 3 kids, and I just keep asking him his kids, and I was like, so now he just has 3 kids. I've made him triplets, by the way. Congratulations. But you can go ahead and put his brother. They're brand new badges. You guys want pictures with me?
They're coordinating now.
Kyler Hughes.
That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the District of Ohio. That I will, in all respects, observe the provisions
daughter was born and raised in Kettering, graduated from Fairmont. She's currently in the Butler Tech program to get her medics, which she should be done here at the end of August. She said she wanted to be a firefighter since she was a little girl. Decided in high school that's the route she wanted to take after she became a lifeguard for 5 years. I have not given her any kids yet, so
That's a blessing.
yeah.
Okay, now we will go, we will wait.
And now the room clears out.
I think I'm okay. I kind of swallowed wrong.
Hi, guys.
Bye.
Congratulations.
Bye.
Congratulations.
See ya. Bye. And now we will do reports from the following committees. Finance Committee, anything to report?
No report, thank you.
Finance Director, anything to report? Committee of the Whole, anything to report? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a committee of the whole meeting at our last formal meeting, and we'll have a meeting tonight after this meeting. Thank you.
City Manager, anything to report?
The only item I have beyond the written report, unless there's questions on that, is just to extend the city's appreciation to every member of our street department and our building maintenance department for all the hard work that they've been doing during these last few days. They've been very challenging from the flooding and high waters. And also extend my personal appreciation to Chris and Rocky and Aaron and Brent, who have been here various times throughout the last 72 hours to 100 hours. So thank you all very much, guys. We appreciate it. You've made some great progress. Thank you.
Law Director, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
And I have a proclamation to read. This is for Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of topsoil by wind and water, cutting heat and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide a habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees increase property values and enhance the economic viability of business areas, and whereas trees whenever they are planted, beautify our community and are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Terry Murphy, Mayor of the City of Moraine, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Moraine, Ohio, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and urge all citizens to plant trees to promote the well-being of this and future generations. And now we will go into business.
Under ordinances, ordinance 82182-25, an ordinance approving amendment to the table of organization and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance approves removing the probationary firefighters' rates from the table of organization, as these rates are listed in the union contract. Since this is an emergency legislation, I move to suspend the rules and allow the second reading and final adoption at this meeting.
Okay, I didn't hear it. You've heard the motion. Are there any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Dougherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Second reading, ordinance 2182-25, an ordinance approving amendment to the table of organization and declaring an emergency.
Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Dougherty?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Ordinance 2183-25, an ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Moraine, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency.
These supplemental appropriations include $435 to the general fund for 2024 liquor and beer permit revenue to the Public Health Department of Montgomery County, and $339.12 of ARPA fund money to be used toward the city building renovation. This ordinance approves the appropriations and will be passed as an emergency. Motion to approve. I move to suspend the rules to allow the second reading and final adoption at the meeting in which it was introduced.
You've heard the motion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Dougherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Second reading, ordinance 2183-25, an ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Moraine, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency.
Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Dougherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Resolution 8146-25, a resolution accepting the bid of and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Barrett Paving Materials Incorporated for the 2025 asphalt paving program with a total amount of $654,721.69, and further authorizing the city manager to execute needed change orders, if any, in specified amount.
This legislation approves a contract with Barrett Paving Materials, Inc. for the 2025 asphalt paving program. This is a budgeted item. Motion to approve.
I have a question. Is it just now that we're starting to add that 10%? Because I don't remember us ever doing that before that. We always brought it back to council to approve a change.
Yes, we did, and actually, our city engineer, Lauren, can speak to the topic a little bit further. And this was reviewed by the law director as well.
Oh,
So you're asking about the extra 10%? It is new. It is what the other municipalities around us are doing. It expedites the procedure and makes it so that the contractor can continue the construction instead of having to wait to get it through council and everything. And it's the amount of it is the same amount that the other jurisdictions, Kettering, City of Dayton, and ODOT use.
Yeah, I was gonna say ODOT uses it as well, and that's what we modeled it after.
And I agree with that, but we're talking, which I've done the math, on one is gonna be over 65,000, 24,000, and 77,000. I'd rather know when we are doing a change order, I know it's under budget, I know it's under the amount, but to just say, oh yeah, you can do a change order, and we really don't know about it. Because we're
Well,
not, we're approving it now, I just don't feel comfortable saying, oh yeah, you can go up to $65,000
Well, we're not-
without our approval.
We're not giving the contractor the freedom to do that. It's if a change order occurs that falls under that amount, the engineer would come to me and I will be able to report to you to let you know. And again, the total, even with the possibility of a change order, which we don't expect many of those, still falls below the annual budgeted amount.
Right, well, that I realize, but we have never really done this in the past. I've been doing it for a
Correct,
couple of
but-
years now. But the thing that I'm talking about is when they know we already have a 10% change order in place, what's to say that they don't do it? Because before, we never did that before. They had to come to us with the change order, then we had to approve it, not just,
But the field inspections kind of, Lauren, would you like to talk a little bit about how we manage the project on
So,
site and keep things?
A really good example of this is when we were replacing the curbing on Lance Drive, and they started taking the curb out, and the road was just deteriorating and
The
running
erosion
away.
of the asphalt, yeah.
And we had to leave that street in a disrupted state where it had to be closed and limited access until we could get the approval for the project. Even though the improvements needed would have been under that 10%, we had to wait and keep that road closed, the access is closed, as we waited for that money to be approved. It was a necessary and needed change. So
what-
it was approved through all of us, and council did approve it. And we wouldn't spend that money without you guys knowing for sure.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think also, well, first I'd like to say, I think our prior way of doing it may have been antiquated and it's leaving us in situations where we can have unsafe roads. But number two, sometimes the contractor has to move on to another project, and we have the ability, unfortunately, we may run into a situation where the contractor says, well, I can't wait the additional 2 weeks or a month, so I'm off to another project, we'll come back to this when we have an opening. That's one of the other struggles that we've dealt with.
I understand that. It's just a lot of money that we're just given an approval for that we're not gonna know really about.
Well, you will, because the engineer will report to me and I will report to you. And Mayor, I guess what I would say is, just because the contingency's approved doesn't mean that we always hit it. We've had contingencies in other construction projects as well. We always try to stay on task at the original budgeted amount. It's in rare situations like the erosion of the road is where we run into these hiccups, and we don't want the project delayed or even left in an unsafe state because they have to go on to another project.
Yeah, Mayor, I understand where you're coming from. I think, like Mike said, to expedite the project,
Right.
this would give us that opportunity. And secondly, if we feel that these companies are price gouging because of that 10%, we can evaluate that after this year of projects
Okay.
and see if that's true or not. Hopefully, this is just few and far between, like Lauren said, where they found something
And I
legitimate
realize that
after.
Everyone
Yeah.
else is doing it. We've never done everything that every other city's doing just because every other city's doing it, so, you know.
That's correct, but we do want to be able to stay on task of the project. And I think, and we have had, correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, we've had contractors ultimately have to maybe leave a project site or delay their ability to fix it because it took too long to get the change order approval.
I mean,
So, but we can
waiting on
most,
projects can cost us more money too.
yeah, and we
because of
can
the
most
fees.
definitely monitor it and come back and say, hey, these were the projects awarded, here was the final price, and to see if it went into that contingency, and if so, by how much.
Okay.
To let you know that, that ultimately, I understand your concern too, which is,
Right.
well, they know they can go up to here, they're gonna find a way to
Right.
go there. But I would say that we have a lot of faith in our trust, or a lot of faith and trust in our staff, and the ability to manage the project at cost. It's on those unfortunate situations where there's something that was unforeseen as they start to dig in or do the work.
Okay,
And Lauren gave a prime example of the deterioration that we did not know about. And I think, from my perspective, I think it will only be used in extenuating circumstances. So I don't have any qualms about it at all.
Well, Lance, we haven't even done. That's in tonight's thing is Lance Drive.
It's another portion of the Lance
Yes,
Drive.
it's a different one.
We had additional monies
Okay.
that we were able to put into curbing and Lance, when they started the curb work, the road started falling apart.
Okay. I did not know because, yes,
Yeah.
that was going to be another question I had further on.
It'll be
Okay.
in next year as we do the asphalt for it. So.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that. Okay, we've
Thank you,
heard the
Lauren.
motion. Is there any questions, any more questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes,
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes,
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 8147-25, a resolution accepting the bid of and authorizing the city manager to enter into contract with R.A. Miller Construction Company for the 2025 curb ramps and sidewalks program for the total amount of $247,758.95, and further authorizing the city manager to execute needed change orders, if any, in specified amount.
this resolution awards the 2025 curb ramps and sidewalks program to R.A. Miller Construction Company, and it is a budgeted item. I'll make a motion to approve.
The only thing I have about these two is they list the same streets, but it's two different companies. When you read on into the thing, it says Lance, it says Swartz, and it says Springboro Pike on both of the two upcoming resolutions.
Part of this is concrete work and part of it is asphalt work.
Okay, that's
That's
it.
why.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
say that, and I kept going, well, they say the same streets.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt,
yes,
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes,
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 8148-25, a resolution accepting the bid of and authorizing the city manager to enter into contract with L.J. DeWeese Company Incorporated for the 2025 curb, road, and storm structure improvements program for the total amount of $772,715, and further authorizing the city manager to execute needed change orders, if any, in specified amount.
this legislation awards the 2025 curb, road, and storm structure improvements program to L.J. DeWeese Company Incorporated and is a budgeted item. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
yes,
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes,
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 8149-25, a resolution declaring the items listed on the attached 2025 list to be surplus and no longer needed for municipal purposes, and authorizing the city manager to dispose of such items through GovDeals auction or donation to a nonprofit organization or through a trade-in program.
This resolution authorizes the disposal of listed items which are no longer of value or useful to the city. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller,
yes,
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
yes,
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes. And is there anybody from staff that would like to give a report? Please come to the podium.
Don't everyone jump up at once.
It's the same two people.
take a number.
How are you guys?
Good.
This isn't normal for me to have to raise the mic up. I'm pretty short. All right. So to give you guys a little update on the city building, this was Thursday. So this was the beginning of when the troubles happened in the city. So we had water just pouring inside the building. Good news is, we've got it dried up. This is part of the new remodel, is the fix on the front of the building.
Right.
There's a trough drain system up there that basically gets clogged up, and when it gets clogged up, you get this problem. Thankfully, it's all gutted. There was no ceiling tiles and stuff to
Right, that's
ruin.
good.
So we should never have this problem after this remodel again. So
Good.
that's good news.
Are you worried about Monday? We're supposed to have severe storms on Monday.
Mayor, stop. I can't handle no more. Chris, you want to help me out
We
here?
don't want to talk about water and rain. We don't want to do
I
it.
was listening to the news before I came. It was like, ah.
All right, turn the news off.
Get on your
it-
knees and pray.
So if you look in this picture, this is part of the big
Yeah.
selling point when we pushed this idea was how the lack of insulation in the ceiling of the council chambers. This here is, it's hard to see in the picture, but that's all new insulation foam on the ceiling. So we should be way better than we were before. This here is the new frame structure for the catwalk, which you'll never see it because it'll be above the ceiling, but this is basically for maintenance and IT department, so we can get above the chambers and be able to work. And if you see here, these are the new beams that we had to weld in, because I don't know if you remember the last time I showed you that the beams that were there weren't structurally sound for what we had. Here's some more pictures of the spray foam. And this is the progress on the boilers. That gives you an idea. I don't know if you guys ever got to see it, but this gives you an idea of kind of what we were working with for all these years. So we've actually got a couple other updated pictures that we just didn't make it in the slide because the guys were working today. They've actually took a lot more out since this photo, so we're making progress. We're actually moving faster than I think Aaron would prefer, but faster we get it in and get it over with, faster we can have these meetings back over at home. So, yeah. Any questions?
Has the rain issues caused much of a delay in the progress? Still in good
No,
shape?
no, everything is, we're plugging right along. I don't know, the front of the building has been taken off.
Right.
All the glass is now gone. You would think that, with all the rain, it would slow them guys down. The site manager has been like, hey, we ain't got time. Rain, we work in the rain. So everything is plugging right along, and, we're making good progress.
Did we give them an incentive if they finish before time?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Rocky, on the next presentation, that picture you gave me of the front, the facade.
Yeah,
It'd be
which
nice
is
to
the
include
original
that.
photo that
Yeah.
when we first pitched this,
Right.
it is the same photo, but I'll remind you guys and give you a refresher on what that frontage will look like. I've already approached Chris and talked to him about maybe doing some minor freshen ups on some of the landscaping, so just to more put it along the same lines as the photo.
Thank you for the
You're welcome.
update.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Fool me once. So I got a couple things, but first, give a shout out to Oakley. Thanks for
Hey,
coming, buddy.
Oakley.
Sorry. But also want to give a huge shout out to Chris and his staff. I know we're still not open here yet, but
Right.
they've worked so hard to get this place open with Mike leading us. Rocky has done a lot, him and Craig. I know there's more to be done, but we're almost there, I feel like, so can't thank them enough. Chris, good job. Rocky, great job. I know Jeanette's not here, but I saw her post on Facebook about Pirate Packs. We took care of them. They are right now at the GCC handing out the food. So they are taken care of. All those kids will be good for this weekend. So we got that taken care of. You mentioned Arbor Day. We are doing an Arbor Day event on Friday, April 25th. Here at Wax Park, 6:30 to 7 or 6 to 7:30. It's free. We do ask that you try to plan, and we request that you register ahead of time. If not, no big deal. It's just for inventory. We're giving out saplings for trees that night. So first come, first serve on that. So I just want to throw that out there. But the biggest thing is the master park plan. So I came to you last time and said that we would be presenting on April 24th, I believe. So that date got changed. We are pushing it back to the first meeting in May, so May 8th. So what's going to happen is April 18th, we have the drafts. So April 18th, all of the people that got the draft and want to make corrections are going to send them to me. So what's going to happen on April 18th, I'll get those corrections. I will send them to Brand Sitter Carroll. They will look them over and make those corrections and get that back to me by April 25th, so the next week. And then from there, what I'll do is I will hand you all, or I will give it to you in whatever form copy for you to look at for the next couple weeks, so you are prepared when that day comes on May 8th. And if you have questions ahead of time before that, it would be great for us to have them so they can be prepared, I can be prepared. So if you have those questions, obviously Mike's in it. He knows everything that's going on. So I think I said that right, I believe. I think we're looking for May 8th will be the day that we will be in here, but you will see it about 2 weeks ahead of time. So you will get to see it. It won't be a blast. Oh, I just got it in my packet. It won't be that. You'll be actually able to see it, but it's probably 130 pages with pictures. Yeah, it's a pretty thick booklet. So there will be a lot of information, a lot of things in that you will have, I know you'll have questions about, and we want those questions. So just be thinking that, knowing that if you do have questions ahead of time, let me know or Mike know so we can kind of better prepare ourselves. Okay? All righty. Thank you so
Brent,
much.
did you want to mention something about the Easter egg hunts?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I started thinking about Arbor Day and all these other things. So tomorrow night will be the adult Easter egg hunt. It has moved to the GCC, or the Civic Center. So at 9 o'clock tomorrow night will be the adult Easter egg hunt, and then that next morning
10
at
o'clock.
10 o'clock sharp, we'll be over at the Civic Center as well. So with everything going on back here and around here, it just made sense to move it over there quick. Glad we have two buildings. It makes it a lot easier on that aspect. So, yeah, thank you so much for reminding me of that. But tomorrow night, adult Easter egg hunt at 9, and then Saturday morning, the Easter egg hunt at 10 o'clock. So,
Okay.
sharp.
I saw where you had over 100 registered for tomorrow night.
Yeah, we almost, we tipped it out at 150, and we were at like 147.
That's marvelous.
So,
Only for adults?
Yes.
yeah, only for adults. Yep. So
Over
come on,
18.
Aura. She's gonna be my date. I'm gonna go get her.
What do you consider adult, 18?
18 plus.
That's what
Yep.
I thought.
So say, I don't think you want that competition. For all.
Do you card them?
We might.
I think the registration has closed on the adult Easter egg hunt, but Dia did say that you're still accepting walk-ups.
Just call us or walk up. Yeah, just let us know. If you can let us know ahead of time, we just better prepare ourselves. I think for a long time that might have got lost, and we were just kind of, if people show up, they show up. We don't know how many. We don't know how to prepare. This has helped
That
us
was
out
bad,
tremendously
yeah.
by doing that. So we're better prepared. So, all right. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, Brent.
Yep.
Anyone else need to speak? Okay. Then we will go into reports. City manager, anything further to report?
I have nothing further, Mayor. Thank you.
Law director, anything further to report?
Nothing to report.
Finance director, anything further to report?
Yes, I do want to add that we have a staff person available at the Civic Center tomorrow from 10 to 5 to receive taxpayers. So if anybody needs assistance, please stop by there. And that's all I have to add.
Are you extending the deadline for tax filing?
We can't legally extend the deadline itself, they're still due, but, you know, we do have the ability to, you know, waive late fees in light of the, you know, the situation, people not being able to get to the building and drop off taxes.
Clerk of council, anything to report?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Miss Allen, anything to report?
Yes, I'd like to welcome the new firefighters, Hughes and Hoffman, to the fire department. And also, I'd like to thank all the city employees that have gone so above and beyond the call of duty to take care of the emergency we've had recently. And it's good to know that we have people that can take over and handle such an emergency.
Ms. Witt?
The same, congratulations to the firefighters. And looking at what we went through this week, I am so thankful that we're not like Nashville. And like I told Terry, our building just had water around it and in it. They've lost buildings. They're not going to be able to have court or anything for months. So we are blessed in that respect, and I hope everybody realizes that it could always get worse. But I think our staff and Mike, I think it has just been so awesome, the job that you all have done. And I appreciate you all so much. Thank you.
Mr. Miller, anything to report?
Pretty much echoing the same thing, being a history nerd, I was looking back at all the flooding prior to the levee.
1930.
And, you know, we're blessed to have that levee here.
Yes,
But prior to that, that whole, all Miami Shores would be under.
yes.
And here we have the levee, and you see some of the issues we still had. So, yeah, thank you all the departments for, and Mike for just being so efficient to get us through this, and you're still working on some of the issues here. And Oakley, do you want to say anything, since we have an open mic up here?
He could sing.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, he's got a beautiful voice.
Mr. Dougherty, anything to report?
I just wanted to thank Governor DeWine and his office for coming out and choosing Moraine to make his transportation budget announcement last week. It was neat that he actually took the time to see us and shake our hands, and we appreciate that. Come out to the Easter egg hunt tomorrow night and on Saturday if you have kids, and hope to see you there.
And I would like to thank our two new firefighters. Congratulations, and hopefully you're going to be here a long time. That would be fantastic. I'd like to thank Brett, Chris, Rocky, Aaron, and Mike for what you've done since Sunday, all the time you've given and done for us. I'd like to thank Springboro for lending us
Yes.
restrooms.
Yes.
I mean, that is really nice that they did that for us. And I would like to, hopefully see a lot of people at the Easter egg hunt on Saturday. A lot of the kids, even though we moved it, I know people are gonna try and come here. I don't know what we can do if they don't, listen.
Yeah,
Maybe you can have a sign or something out there trying to send them back that way. Yep.
Right, and that.
Mayor, I'd like to take a quick second, too. We also got pumps from some of our neighboring communities. Chris and Rocky worked really hard on that, so really appreciation kind of goes to all of our municipal neighbors who have helped out during this unfortunate time.
Montgomery
Yeah.
County, I know, gave us pumps. And yes, a lot.
Conservancy District.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people have helped us, because I think we were one of the worst right around here in the community than anyone else. I would, I lost my train of thought. Thank you. Okay, that'll be all. I would also like to thank the Miami Valley Communications Council for broadcasting this meeting live, as well as any future rebroadcast. And this regular council meeting is adjourned at 6:39.